no secret. It's plain to see. I love you, and you love me. It's no secret.
Hello, hello.
Everyone would agree to them it's a crime. It's no secret.
All right, this is interesting.
It's plain to see. Yes, I love you.
There we go. Welcome, everyone, to the Friday, February 4th edition of the Fireside Friday here. Fireside Signals from Mars Friday. We are back for another week. We are counting down a bunch of great things and fumbling. That is right. And in the process here, we'll be talking about some of the things that we have going on. MarsAttacksRadio.com, new releases, metal news, so on and so forth. Real quickly here, just released a new episode of the Mars Attacks podcast, which features the last Patreon discussion, which happened on January 25th, was it? If I'm not mistaken. It happened late January. I don't have it in front of me right now. Anyway, yeah, so with all of the shenanigans going on with COVID and everything else in my household, we are now, I just posted it today. So when you listen to Mr. Jeremy Weltman's Patron's Pick, it will be from January. But it is still great nonetheless. So, yeah, sorry, fumbling with my watch, which fell off here. And there we go. All right, perfect, sorry. Anyway. So yeah, so there's that episode which was just uploaded. I also uploaded the last two episodes of Trivia Tuesday to the website. I will be doing new episodes of the Mars Attacks radio show to coincide with the recently released episode of the Mars Attacks podcast. We'll be counting down the top 10 albums that were selected by the patrons, and I'll also do episodes based on my selections. So there you go. And yeah, so we're here on Fireside again after a few weeks off, and let's go over some new releases. Should have had this open already. So today there's a new album by Korn, Requiem, which just dropped. I enjoyed the album, but I could tell that, Fieldy isn't in the band right now. He is, but he isn't. So you can kind of tell, in my opinion, that he wasn't as involved. The bass isn't as prominent as it has been on previous albums, in my opinion. They used his demo bass tracks, so it does sound a little different. But still an enjoyable listen to me. I do think it's funny. I'm listening to the album, and it reminds me a lot of Overkill, in the sense that they've kind of caught a second gasp of air, if you will. They have come back, and the last few albums have been strong. The Serenity of Suffering and Nothing, which came out at this point. Well, if they had this new album, Requiem, written in 2019, it means that that Nothing was written before that. So it's just kind of odd No, odd in my mind that I don't remember the year. But anyway, the last album to come out, I have it on white vinyl. One of these days will be a album of the week on Patreon. But want to send shout outs to everyone that's in the chat: Brad, Jen, Johan, and Jeremy. Glad to see that Johan finally got in here. And also Woody, who's here week after week. And yeah, so I'll be calling you guys up to the stage in a little bit. But yeah, so the new Korn came out. Let's see, new Saxon came out. Michael Romeo, which I've been trying to listen to all day, and for some reason I just haven't been able to. I ended up listening to a lot of Haunt today. Was Bandcamp Friday. I did order the self-titled album by the Canadian band Maul, only because the shipping was reasonable. It was $11 to ship to me as opposed to 26 to 30 euros. So you're looking at albums that cost $30 to begin with, and then there was like another like $28 to ship it. So kind of not my bag. But anyway. So yes, I didn't get to listen to the Michael Romeo, hopefully over the weekend. Perseform from here in Andorra. Roli Tomasi, Venom Prison. Hoira, I guess that's pronounced. Mass Warship. Mac Golahan. Silent Skies. As It Is. The Final Sleep. Iniske. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Golgathon. Mystic Circle. Timo. Cold Night for Alligators, and Bat Magic. EPs from, I guess I screwed that up. Yeah, there's an EP. Two of those are EPs. I've been listed twice. I think I got to fix my list. But anyway, Jeremy usually catch that stuff. I was scrambling. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't tell me if things are EPs. I end up listing them more than once. But anyway, only 2 reissues. 2 albums by Prong, Beg to Differ, and Rude Awakening. Love Rude Awakening. I would love to have that on vinyl. So I may be finding out how to pick that up. But yeah, no live albums or no compilations this week. And I decided against going with the Mother comments this week. So there you go. Let's see what we have in the way of blabbermouth news today. So Red Hot Chili Peppers announced their new album today. Halford's quartet idea blew up in his face, it says. Okay. Cliff Burton figure from Super 7. It looks pretty cool. New Slipknot album has a title. Okay. Dio documentary coming to South by Southwest. And Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2022 nominees announced. Let's see. So, what else does Blabbermouth have? Watch Pro Shot video of Glenn Tipton performing Metal Gods with Judas Priest at 2021 Bloodstock Air, Open Air, which Jeremy was at, I believe. It was August 15th, 2021. That's the show that you were at, right, Jeremy? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Metallica releases Met on Tour video edit of King Nothing performance from first 40th anniversary concert. That's off of Load. I absolutely love the album Load. I don't give a damn what anyone else says. I think it's a good rock album. It's not one of the first 4 albums. Get it. Doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. Kill the Lights featuring former Bullet for My Valentine members' new song Dead from the Start available. Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators making a 4 album part 3 video. Corey Taylor hopes something like Astro World Festival disaster never happens at a Slipknot concert. Current owner of Vinnie Paul's house in Texas. It was meant to be a party house. So there you go. So somebody actually owns it and they're selling it. Gotcha. Okay. Watch a video of that. And I mean, 750,000 again. I don't know what what the property value is. Now, I lived in the Northeast, so I'm sure something like that would easily be over $1 million there. Rob Halford and KK Downing being inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Judas Priest. I don't think it'll be awkward at all. Bullshit. Come on. Who the hell are they kidding? Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. Come on. Who are you kidding, Rob Halford? So why haven't, please. That's a joke. Bring Me the Horizon released Moon Over Castle off Gran Turismo 7 soundtrack. David Ellison, Chris Poland, Chris Adler featured in second sizzle reel for Nick Menza's documentary. Warrior Soul releases title track off of Out on Bait album. All right, I got to listen to this. I'm a huge Warrior Soul fan from back in the day. But these last few albums, I'm sorry, but I didn't pick up the last one. And based off of this new single, if you're drinking the Jonestown Kool-Aid there, all you, dude, just not something that, I would get into. But still with an open mind, but the last one, I did a review on it. It broke my heart. So, there you go. Black Swan featuring Jeff Pilson, Robin McCauley, Reb Beach, and Matt Starr, Generation Mine album announced. And they released a single. So I got to check that out. We'll probably post that on Patreon for you guys to decide whether you like it or not. NHC featuring Taylor Hawkins, Dave Navarro, and Chris Chaney debut EP Intake and Outtake out now. Okay, something else I need to check out. Hailstorm to release Back from the Dead album in May. The Steeple single out now. So a lot of stuff to check out. Waiton announces the Agony and Ecstasy of Waiton album, new single. The Howling now available. Arch Enemy released new single, Handshake with Hell. Creator announced Hate Uber Alles album, released music video for title track. Late Metallica bassist Cliff Burton reaction figure from Super 7 coming next week. Had nothing on their website about that. Red Hot Chili Pepper released music video for new single Black Summer. Bruce Dickinson, half of us are gonna get cancer and it's not a death sentence anymore. All right, so let's see the Rob Halford story about the quartet that blew up in his face. Let's see. So he says this, he said this in Billboard. So that all came from me. It didn't come from the band, Halford told Billboard, explaining that he thought since the band was founded as a four-piece, it would be appropriate to return to that for the 50th anniversary celebration. Obviously, that blew up in my face, didn't it? To have done something like a four-piece now would have been just not right. Ridiculous, insane, crazy, off my rocker, have a cup of tea and relax. Oh, you mean kind of like this?
I'm pregnant, you're the father, and I'm going to kill all three of us. Calm down. Have some dip.
Thank you, Mr. Carlin. Anyway, and it's kind of water under the bridge now. I think my heart was in the right place, but I'm not the first musician to have a crazy idea. Right. All right. Stupid idea. Very stupid idea. Anyway, let's keep going here. Red Hot Chili Peppers to release Unlimited Love album in April. First single, Black Summer, to arrive tomorrow. So that's, all right. That brings us up to speed with today's news. Actually, wait, there's a Slipknot news that I wanted to find out. So Corey Taylor was on Trunk Nation with Eddie Trunk. He said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, the record is actually in the process of being mixed right now. Everything is finished, so it's just being mixed right now. which is rad news. It's rad, dude. So it's probably going to take, I think it's probably going to be another 3 months before it is released. The artwork is done. We just came up with the title. I'm not going to tell you right now, but we're really stoked. So honestly, 3 months from now, well, less than that, we'll get the single out. And then 3 months from now, we'll get the album. Okay. So if that isn't a clickbait headline, I don't know what is. So new Slipknot album has a title. The artwork is done, says Corey Taylor, which is factual. But then when you read what they posted, it says, we just came up with the title. I'm not going to tell you it right now. Again, new Slipknot album has a title. Good for fucking you. Let's be honest. Come on, man. Seriously? If that doesn't prove to you guys that clickbait is where it's at, nothing will. Because, yeah, they have the title, but they're not telling us what the title is. They should have just done, nah, 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 nah. There's a title, but we're not telling you. So, anyway, guys, the sound bites that I've been playing, can you hear them? For example, this. Somebody give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear that. Or if you can. All right, Johan is clapping. That's close enough. All right, so you guys can hear it.
Sorry, are you saying meow?
All right, cool. Anyway, so since the news was short, let's bring you guys up sooner than usual. So anyone who wants to talk, let's see. Jeremy, Brad, and Johan, if you guys want to come up, feel free to do so. Let's see, we've got Jeremy, we've got Brad. Let's see if and we have Johan up here. All right, welcome everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hi, Victor. Yeah, really good. How are you?
I'm doing well now.
That's good to hear. Yeah, you've been suffering a bit.
Well, it is what it is. Let's see if we can get past all this stuff shortly. So, Johan, are you there?
Sure.
Excellent. And Brad, are you there?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Brad will be co-hosting tonight, which is the layover from winning Trivia Tuesday from a few weeks back. So we have, I came up with the name New Year's Yarg. It was relatively in the beginning of the year, and hell, this past Tuesday was Chinese New Year. So they celebrate Chinese New Year out in Utah, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's huge. Wontons for everybody. I was actually in China one year on Chinese New Year. I know. Who knew I'd have a story?
Oh wow!
And people were setting off. We were there on a tour with a bunch of other people from all over the world, but a lot of Americans. And this is how you spotted the Americans. Some of the locals were setting off fireworks, and the Americans went like running, saying, "They're shooting! They're shooting!" And I was like, "Yeah, okay." That's where I learned how to hate Americans. Plus,
didn't you know?
As you go around town,
did they not realize that gunpowder and fireworks was invented in China?
No, they didn't realize a lot of things, and they complained about the conditions of this, that, the other, the food, and it's like, okay, shut up. It's like, have some respect for other people's country, for hell's sake. I know the best part of that trip was when somebody asked us if we were from Britain. It must be my accent. And I took that as an extreme compliment. I was like...
Well, don't worry. When my wife and I travel, and you hear the loudest people out of the bunch, just hooting and hollering and just making all this noise, my wife always says, "I bet you they're Spanish." I
Oh,
think they're Spanish. I'm like, let's get closer. We were on our honeymoon. We went from Vegas to the Grand Canyon, and we're in the Grand Canyon, and we hear these people making all this noise. My wife says, "I bet you anything they're Spanish." We get closer to them. We hear them speaking Spanish and referencing different things in Spain, and due to their accent, you could tell they were from Spain. I go, well, you're right. So, anytime that we go on any vacation, any trips or whatnot, usually if you want to find out what the tour guides are telling you, don't take these Spanish language trips, because there's going to be a lot of dumb jokes. There's going to be a lot of people talking over one another, and there's going to be a lot of stupid shit said, basically. So, there you go.
We complain about Russians.
That's what I was going to ask. Is who do the Swedes complain about the most? Russians. Okay, that's good to know. What's a good Russian joke?
I don't have any, but if they're here, you notice them. They're loud and they are. It's as a politician, you have to be political. They are. You notice them, and they are. They are not like us.
Does your nose notice them by any chance?
Nose?
Nose, like, do they smell?
No, but I would like to hear about that.
Okay. Yeah, all right. All I know is the smelliest air flight I've ever been on was a flight from JFK to Athens, Greece. And I thought, oh my gosh, yeah, here I am being an American, okay, because I'm complaining about the way people smell. But I think that had nothing to do with my nationality. People just smelled bad on that flight. Oh, God. It's like a whole bunch of cheese gone bad.
All right.
Anyway.
Jeremy, who do you guys like to poke fun at? Probably somebody else in the UK, right?
Yeah, well, for a long time, obviously, it was the Germans, and it still is really quite a bit. It's all that sort of, they put their towels down on the sunbeds before we do and all that sort of stuff. But I think a lot of that's faded in the last sort of 10 years, and it's not really so bad anymore. I think possibly because we're now beating them at football. So it's not as bad. I think, a lot of people got beef about the Russians here as well, because a lot of the Russians travel as well. It's anywhere where the Brits go, and they don't like people abroad who are a little bit too pushy with them. And unfortunately, it is the Russians, I think, at the moment, they're getting the tail end of it.
Wow. So I think we can all agree the Russians are.
Well, as that cartoon said, the Russians are coming, Harry.
Yeah, there you go. But we can all agree we love the Estonians, right, Victor?
Well, I don't know. We haven't been charting in Estonia as high as we were in the past. So
Oh no.
I don't know what's going on there.
Well, we're gonna have to make a trip.
We may. Well, let's hope a war doesn't break out first. Then we'll decide later.
You need to do a live show in Tallinn, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm in.
Anyway, let's talk a little music here. Johan, since you're the newest one joining us here, any music-related topics you want to talk about? I know that you're excited for the February 18th Rush discussion, but is there anything else that you want to talk about?
It's sure, but let's get Jeremy to start so I can think about it for the language.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
thank you.
Sure. Okay, well, I got one for Jeremy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I imagine you've been listening to the new Saxon album today.
Yeah, very briefly, I went through all the tracks and sort of cut a few short because I was working at the same time, really, and just listening in the background. I said to Victor earlier on that I listened on my iPad without headphones, so it wasn't, full on sort of stereo. But I liked what I heard. It's very typically Saxon, very typical riffs that you'd hear on any Saxon album. There's the usual sort of mix of songs. There's a few heavier, faster songs. There's a few that are a bit slower, and there's some good melodies in there. I'm really looking forward to getting my copy. I've ordered one, and it's supposed to be on its way. It was supposed to maybe arrive today, but it may come tomorrow. I've got a special edition green vinyl. So yeah, looking forward to really checking it out properly.
Yeah, my copy, even here in America, is not supposed to be here till next week either. Of course, I'm getting a CD because I don't have a turntable. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's nothing really not to like. I think on the album, it's very heavy. It sounds good, but I kind of feel like they're just swimming in the same pool,
Yeah. I know what you mean. But I think that they reminded me a lot of like Accept and Udo at the moment. I know you're raving about the latest Udo album, and I think it was good. But I think those sort of bands, they churn out a lot of the same sort of stuff. And I think Saxon have got into that mentality as well. And I think what they're doing is they please the fans because, the fans don't want them to take a turn. So, they're playing the sort of music that the fans want to hear.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I guess I don't know. I know that Nibs contributes most of the riffs to the songwriting nowadays. He has an incredible book of riffs that he throws out there, and then Biff kind of works with him on them, and the other guys just fall in line, and every so often somebody else brings something in.
Yeah.
But you can easily pick out the Nibs stuff. He does some kind of weird time stuff and pretty interesting guitar work for a bass player.
Yeah.
But the one thing that caught my ear, and it sounds different. I've listened to it on a couple of different things. I haven't listened to it on a proper stereo. So, and plus I'm waiting to get the CD. But the weird thing is Biff's doing this weird, really high voice in a lot of the choruses. It's a very weird high falsetto. And if I listen to it on my Sonos, that jumps out hugely, and it sounds kind of actually a little bit funny when he says "Carpe diem." I mean,
I noticed that as well on a couple of songs, and I'm not sure whether it's because his voice hasn't quite got the range it had. Obviously, he's been ill as well, so that might sort of figure. It may be just the way they've mixed it and produced it, or it just might be. He's gone for that sort of range, and he shouldn't be, and then maybe he should have kept it a bit lower. I don't know, but yeah, I did notice that myself. But with these sort of albums, I think sometimes it's best to just give them a good repeat play. A lot of these things you can listen to it first time, and you take a view on something prematurely, and you really need to give an album a good listen.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm just being picky because, of course, I love it because I love Saxon. It's not compared to what other people are putting out, it's 100% solid. But I'm just being nitpicky. For me, a lot of times songs don't really hit me until I hear them live, and Saxon's like that too. So I don't know whether they're going to get a chance to come to America at all with this album, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I saw them last week, and they didn't play any off this album. I was a bit disappointed because I'd heard "Remember the Fallen," and I really thought that they might play that track. With it being about COVID as well, I thought it'd be nice to play that one, but they didn't. It was just all the old greatest hits. So that's slight disappointment, really.
Yeah, isn't it though? If you have the single out, wouldn't you play that single to promote the album coming out next week?
Yeah, I think what happened was that because this tour was it was like an Eagles and whatever tour. It was supposed to be a greatest hits tour, which got cancelled. A few times, and it was I ordered my ticket 3 years ago, and so I think that what they've done is they've rebooked a proper tour for this new album later in the year. So I don't know why they wouldn't have played even just one track and mixed it up a bit. I don't know, but they obviously decided just to stick to the original set list.
Obviously, they know their fan base better than anybody, but this is something that Mark and I would talk about all the time on his Patreon show, how a lot of bands nowadays maybe tour too much through certain areas. So if you're, I get it if you're going to be back in the next 6 months or to a year, but have you ever seen Saxon in the UK where they haven't had a good audience?
No, I haven't. I haven't really. I think they always tend to get sold out in the Northwest, where I am. This particular tour that I just went to see, there were only 2 dates. There were supposed to be 3. One of them got cancelled in Glasgow. Not sure why that was. I think it must have been COVID, because obviously in Scotland they have different rules. And so they only had 2 dates, so you'd expect it to be sold out, and a lot of people had all their tickets. But I've noticed when they're going later in the year, they're not coming back to Manchester. They're not even playing anywhere near me. I think the nearest might be in Yorkshire. So they are going to different places,
Right.
And obviously they're doing a few festivals over the summer as well.
Yeah, my brother's actually planning on being in the UK in November, and he's going to try to go to the Newcastle show.
Oh right, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that will be a good show as well, because the Geordies love their metal. Yeah, they love their old fashioned rock and roll up there. So it'll be really good.
How far away is that from you?
It's about 220 miles or so. It takes about 3 hours. In fact, I'm going up to Newcastle in May to watch Whitesnake, Foreigner, and Europe, which again was booked a while ago. I think that got cancelled because David Coverdale had an operation as well on his stomach, I think. So that got cancelled for a while.
All right, Johan was asking you how far away is that in kilometers?
Yeah, whatever the conversion is. I've forgotten.
How many miles did you say it was?
So you're looking at around 220, 200.
So 100 kilometers. No, that's more. It's more.
It's more than that.
It's
yeah.
times 1.6. So it's about 350 kilometers, Johan.
Yeah, there you go. It in the car. It's a strange trip actually, because there is a bit of motorway, and then you get on an A road. There's strangely, when you go up from Yorkshire up to Newcastle, there's no motorway. So it's like it's an A road. Yeah, it's a decent road, but it's not proper motorway. So it takes from here. You've got to go cross country first to sort of Leeds, York, and then you go up straight up. So you're looking at 3 hours in the car, really.
It'd be 3 hours well spent rocking out, I'm sure.
Yeah. I went to the university there in Newcastle, so I was there for 3. Yeah, I was there for 3 years during a good time for rock music as well. Really,
I have a friend who played football in Newcastle.
For the team?
Yeah.
All right.
What was his name?
Emil Kraft. He's.
I'm trying to think.
He's in the Swedish national team, and I think he's a starter in Newcastle. Back, what do you say, defender?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, defender.
Yeah, he's from here.
Okay, great.
And he's from my town, and I know he's.
Oh wow.
We know each other. It's a small. This is a small town, so I know his relatives, and I know him, and but when he became a professional, he was obviously smaller than me. So yeah, if you can understand what I'm saying. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I used
Did
to watch
you?
Newcastle quite a bit when I was up there in the old days. Used to watch a lot of good music up there as well. I mean, they had a lot of great rock and metal going on at the time. Remember seeing Robin George there and Magnum a few times, and REO Speedwagon, and a lot of the local bands as well. A lot of the smaller bands used to play. Some that I've never heard of since. Really, they're all disbanded.
Well, Brad, the REO Speedwagon, you right?
Oh, guy. That was at the Shrine Auditorium, which is a place where they have all the Hollywood awards things and stuff. It's a big, extravagant theater. It's probably changed a lot since I was a kid, though. They've probably beefed it up a little bit. But yeah, so my buddy Ed, the drummer in my band, he was the hugest Deep Purple Rainbow fan. And so when Rainbow was coming, he actually went through a ticket broker and got these incredibly great seats. And back then, I think it was like $30, and I was like, "Well, I'm not paying that." And he goes, "Well, I want you to go with me, so I'll buy your ticket." So, I mean, that seems like nothing now, but back then, that was a lot of money, especially for kids. And so, yeah, so we go there, and Rainbow is supposed to hit the stage, but they don't. And I mean, it was like a premature Guns N' Roses thing. People were started chanting bullshit, and it was. I thought they were going to riot, but finally they came on. Of course, it's probably Richie Blackmore just quite wasn't feeling it, so they come out and they do, like an hour plus, maybe 3 songs, I guess. Have where 80% of it is Richie Blackmore doing solos, but it was. I've never been that big of a fan of Rainbow. I mean, I knew some of the songs, but Cozy Pal, oh my gosh, I was just totally just entranced by his playing. And of course, Ronnie James Dio was just fantastic. I mean, the rest of the band was just kind of whatever, but those guys played. And then REO Speedwagon comes on. This is when they had you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish, which that kind of, there's all these segues into our show later. They come out and I didn't have earplugs. This is back, nobody wore earplugs back then. And they were so unbelievably loud. I mean, just like mind-numbingly, I thought I was going to die kind of loud. And they were also, I got to tell you, what's his name? The singer, Kevin Cronin, yeah. I think he has Cronin's disease. But oh my gosh, the timbre of his voice is really tough to listen to for me. And he was just bellowing and doing all kinds of shenanigans. And after about 5 or 6 songs, I was like, "Dude, can we go?" And he's like, "No, man, we paid all this money for these tickets. We're not leaving until it's over." And I was just in pain. I actually fell asleep at one point, which is incredible, unbelievable that I fell asleep. But it was like one of the worst things I've ever experienced.
That's great.
On a good note, though, I did think their guitar player Gary Richrath at the time, I thought he was an excellent player. He had a really unusual, unique tone, and so I thought he was good. And other than that, the rest of it was just noise.
Johan, was REO Speedwagon ever big in Sweden?
No, that's no. Actually, no, they weren't. And Journey and Foreigner and Euphylline guys. Those typical US bands back in the early 80s, late 70s, they weren't big here at all.
Right.
That kind of music wasn't the thing here. We listened to, I wouldn't know, I was around 10, but I think we listened to synth music or new wave of British heavy metal. So
Yeah.
those, but Journey
Hey,
became
hey,
big.
Johan,
Yeah, yeah.
what's the first big Swedish rock band you can remember that were big there?
Rock band.
Yeah.
Uh,
Would it be Europe? Europe was pretty big when they first came out, weren't they?
yeah, I'm thinking of Europe.
Yeah.
But wasn't like Easy Action or something like that, or
No,
what did he-
no, they weren't. Europe were big.
Yeah.
The
The final countdown was massive. It was a huge song, wasn't it?
Swedish before ABBA. No, there was as a rock band in Sweden. We had a lot of left wing. We call it prog, not
Yeah.
not when you play instrument like Porcupine Tree. It's like prog. It's like left music. There was a lot of that in Sweden, and they sang in Swedish. And America was the baddest thing you can imagine. Like bands like Journey were, those kind of bands were not accepted. So that was a big thing in the 70s in Sweden. I guess Europe probably is the biggest rock band in Sweden in the early 80s, at least after 86. Yes. Thank you.
Good answer.
Yeah. They were huge in the UK as well. I mean, they were the second biggest Swedish band to hit the UK after that other one, of course, which wasn't rock.
Yeah, I think ABBA was huge everywhere.
Yeah. But it was the final countdown that really broke Europe. And, when that came out, it was just massive. I mean, I just remember everybody being into it. It was just such an incredible song. I mean, it's obviously now so overplayed, but at the time, and of course they had the image as well. I mean, there were all these lovely looking lads that all the girls used to like. And they were just, they just hit the UK like a hammer over the head, really.
But I must say, boys, that the times in Sweden, because that was time when I was young, Europe was the biggest band, but there were a lot of bands that were good, and that were the days. Every band wanted to be a hard rock band, and I can I can miss those days, really. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to start wrapping things up here because we have the regular Signals from Mars. I always say singles. Yes, this is the new hot dating app from Mars. Singles from Mars. Signals from Mars will be coming up at the top of the hour with Mr. Brad Dahl, and I'm trying to actually enter the Signals from Mars studio, and I'm not having luck doing so. So I have to figure out what the hell's going on before the other show starts. I do want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight, and hopefully you'll be joining us in a few minutes. And once again, if anyone that isn't Jeremy, Johan, or Brad, they're in on the cool stuff. Just go to MarsAttacksRadio.com and go to Facebook, go to YouTube, go to Twitch, or any of the other platforms where you could watch live and partake and chat with us at the same time while the show is going on. Brad has some extraordinary questions that he's prepared for the show. He sent some things my way, so hopefully you guys enjoy.
We'll find out. Hopefully we're not going to bore people with minutia of drumming, but we're going to find out.
Oh boy, yes. Okay. So we're going to have, we're going to be talking about base theatrics instead.
Correct.
Okay, well, on that note, folks, thank you for joining me here on Fireside once again, another week. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Johan. Thank you, Brad, for joining and adding some great commentary to this episode. We will see you guys in a few minutes.